they expected you to beg, to chase, to prove your worth over and over again. But what if your silence after rejection is the most powerful weapon you possess? What if the moment you stop talking is the moment they finally start listening? A person who is grounded and wise does not break when others reject them. Real change often happens when you choose to be quiet on purpose. Many people think quiet means weakness or giving up. But chosen quiet is strong. It is like a deep, steady current under the surface. You may not see it, but it shapes how we see things and what happens next. When some people decided to leave your life, they thought they were walking away from something ordinary. They did not see that by turning away, they also walked away from a source of calm, a steady anchor in rough times, and a clear mirror that helped them see themselves. Because of that, they may now feel a new and unexpected unrest inside. That uneasy feeling comes from the very stillness you chose. Let's look at this more closely, because by the end, your sense of inner strength may feel rebuilt in a steady and lasting way. Think of this simple picture. You offer someone light and warmth in a cold, empty place. You do it with goodwill. If they carelessly refuse it and you take back that light, they are left with the dark and the cold. Only then might they understand the value of what they threw away. This is what your decision to stop engaging can mean to those who once dismissed you. They may have expected you to keep chasing them, to keep proving your care. But your choice to step back is not emptiness. It is a clear, full choice. Many people think silence is surrender. It isn't. It is a step up. It is a calm finish to all you tried to do, where keeping your own peace matters more than giving someone else a short burst of comfort. Even if they ignored you, or even mocked you and expected you to beg for a second chance, you did not do that. You left with steady self-control, and you closed the door behind you. That act, born from self-mastery, is real strength. The philosopher Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." You decided who you want to be. You chose not to chase. You chose to leave with dignity. That choice does not come from weakness. It comes from seeing your own worth and respecting yourself. In this steady quiet, they may have to face their own inner conflict. Rejection hurts, especially when you gave freely and openly. But there is a deep truth here. Your silence helps heal you, and it can also push them to look at themselves. It becomes a gentle but persistent question. What could have been? They may have thought the rejection was the end of the story. In fact, your quiet began their reflection, and perhaps their regret. You do not need grand speeches or hidden signals to be understood. Quiet distance, held with calm resolve, often says more than loud words. Your absence is felt in daily life. No more familiar messages, no shared habits, no warm presence. That speaks clearly all by itself. Keep your empathy. It is human to care. But do not confuse care with begging, and do not confuse love with losing yourself. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone who rejected you is to let them face the natural results of their choice. So if you keep this chosen quiet after being rejected, hold to this truth. Calm is real power. Let that guide you. Let it remind you of who you are. Let it be a steady source of strength. In reality, you have not lost anything essential. The loss is on their side. Your calm self-control is clear proof of that. And this is only the beginning of a deeper journey. In this journey, silence is more than the absence of sound. It carries meaning that reaches deep into life itself. Deep calm is true strength. Let this understanding sink in and stay with you. First, the sound of silence surpasses the cry of rejection. They expected that distancing would bring them peace. Instead, your silence has sparked an inner war. Their departure was intended as a simple final act. They did not foresee that your calm quiet would become the most insistent sound in their minds. You did not resort to pleading, did not give in to despair, did not attempt to win back what was lost. You simply stopped, like a door that without a sound slowly closes. Imagine a space filled with activity and sound suddenly plunged into absolute silence. Such a transition is disorienting and unsettling. This is exactly how your withdrawal affects them. Silence after rejection is not a shortcoming, but a profound realization. It is the moment when a person stops proving their worth to others and begins to fully embody it for themselves. As Marcus Aurelius observed, the best revenge is not to be like the one who committed the injustice. You answer not with bitterness, but with unwavering dignity. Second, the ascent against expectations. They anticipated your collapse. You chose to rise. Their calculation rested on the belief that rejection would break your spirit and make you crawl in search of comfort. But you are made differently. You did not fall. You recalibrated. The initial blow may have been significant. That is natural to the human experience. But there comes a unique moment when pain stops paralyzing and becomes a driving force. Imagine a seed beneath the earth. Above, there is only silence and emptiness, but beneath the surface, roots and foundations are forming. Thus, your silence became a slow, steady ascent. Silence is not passive. It is strategic and sacred. While they expected your unraveling, you were, day by day, restoring yourself, returning all your energy, love, and devotion to yourself. As Rumi taught, do not resist change. Let life flow through you. You stopped resisting the silence, embraced it, and it transformed you. Third, the end of playing games. Their attempts to reestablish contact are driven not by care, but by the anxiety of losing their presumed control. Your silence has disrupted the familiar dynamic in which they ruled and you responded. Now the subtle manipulations begin. Casual tokens of attention, empty messages, tests of boundaries. But you no longer take part in this game. As Epictetus wisely noted, we are disturbed not by events, but by our interpretation of them. Your silence is meaningful. It shakes the foundations of their self-assurance. They try to regain power over your emotions, but the gates are locked from the inside. True sincerity is shown not in words, but in the consistency of actions. As long as words aren't backed by accountability, they are only noise. Your peace is not a bargaining chip for someone else's guessing games. Fourth, chains of regret. They believed that rejection would set them free. Now they are bound by remorse. Every morning they wake with the sense of your silence wrapping around them like chains. At first, relief may have prevailed, but regret arrives in the quiet. In the spaces between the conversations that never happened, in the emptiness of a world where your presence is no longer promised. You were their comfort, their constancy, the steady rhythm amid chaos. Now, every breath feels heavier. Every moment of calm has a sharp edge. As Marcus Aurelius said, regret is the past crippling the present. They are stuck in a loop of memories of every moment of neglect. You offered not merely attention, you gave understanding. You did not simply appear, you stayed in all circumstances. Now they reap the harvest of a hasty decision, realizing that the problem was not you, but their inability to recognize the genuine when it stood beside them. Fifth, the power of the unspoken. When you stopped speaking, they finally began to listen. Your silence did not mean an absence of words. It meant an end to repetition for those who refused to heed. Now, every word you once spoke, reminders of love, patience, loyalty, takes on a new resonance precisely because it is no longer spoken. They replay not only the loud declarations, but also the quiet cares. Take care of yourself. You look tired. I'm proud of you. Suddenly, these words echo in their minds. Silence forces them to sit alone with themselves, filling the emptiness with memories and regrets. Silence becomes their constant companion. It sounds in the middle of conversations, during journeys, in the pauses between melodies. You cannot argue with silence. You cannot block it. It simply exists, reminding them of what has been lost. Sixth, the futility of substitution. They may try to replace your presence, but the emptiness remains. You are not an episode. You are an entire narrative. Their attempts to find a substitute are not healing but concealment, a flight from the echo of your absence. As Seneca noted, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor. They are not rich in love. They have gone bankrupt in self-awareness. They had gold and threw it away for glitter. True love is not replaced like a light bulb. It leaves indelible imprints in memory. New connections can create noise, but depth is not encountered twice. The emptiness you left is not filled, not forged, and cannot be escaped. Deep down they know. No one else will reach the places you touched with effortless ease. Seventh, the inevitable unraveling. They expected your departure to bring liberation. Instead, a slow yet inexorable collapse of their inner world began. You were not merely a companion. You were a structure, a grounding force, the thread that quietly held their chaos together. At first, they kept up the appearance of well-being, but pretense cannot endure when the foundation cracks. The destruction begins from within. Regrets seep into consciousness, memories grow louder, and the weight of missed moments presses with unexpected force. Your absence is not a gap to be filled, but a truth to be accepted. What once seemed ordinary proved to be exceptional. Messages previously ignored now feel sacred, and new acquaintances do not bring the feeling of home that you created. Concluding wisdom. While they undergo inner ruin, you build. While they repeat old mistakes, you evolve into something stronger. You heal not for show, but deeply, with true grace. You stopped trying to fix those who broke you, stopped waiting for your worth to be acknowledged, and began choosing yourself. This is not cruelty, it is sanity. The difference between indifference and stoic calm is vast. The former is emptiness. The latter is complete self-command. Your silence is not a punishment, but an agreement to live according to the nature of things, to do what lies within your power and wisely accept the rest. Let this truth be your guiding principle. My silence became the beginning of their insight and the rebirth of my inner strength. Silence does not end the story. It closes the old chapter and opens a clean page where your word once again regains its true power. Remember, you cannot be replaced. You are the standard they will never again be able to meet. In this understanding lies your freedom. In this choice lies your strength. If this resonates, subscribe to Stoic Oracle for more daily reflections on strength, clarity, and inner freedom.